Hey friends, welcome back to Hot News. Hope you're enjoying your Thursday. Glad to see you here. Today, our sponsor spot is actually the merch that we're using for our fundraising to help bring the UFD team back to the States. Our pal Jason, who was on the UFD tech team, designed these dope pieces of merch. You got the F for respects, you got the hot floppy, a floppy disk so hot, it might as well be a hard drive. You got just normal branded stuff like UFD tech and Hot News stuff, as well as a hey friends, because you know, that's how I introduce myself. So if you want to check out any of those, you can do so at the link in the video description. It's a Teespring campaign. We are working on sourcing some local merch so that I can actually wear it, but at this point we haven't had the time to print it, but I will show it off so that you guys get to see it in all its glory. This is actually Olin Rogers merch. So let's move on into hot news today, which is that Amazon really wants to spy on you, at least if the indication of everything they announced yesterday is showing that. That was a weird syntax. Anyways, so Amazon launched some cool stuff yesterday. Most of it centered around its Echo line, which gives you Alexa-powered capabilities. Alexa, what's for dinner? Basically is the idea, and some of it is really great, like the Earbuds that they announced, which is a partnership with Bose to bring you earbuds that you wear that also have active noise cancellation, which is quite good, especially when you consider the price is $130. But you also have to be wary because that $130 is subsidized by the fact that they're going to be selling all of the data that they get from you because you're going to be wearing Alexa with you everywhere in the freaking planet. But the dumbest thing that they announced yesterday are the Echo Loops, which are rings that you have on your finger to talk to Alexa. That doesn't make any sense. You have to bring your hand up to your mouth to talk to it, and then it also has a speaker, so you have to look like you're gonna be like smacking yourself in the face to hear what Alexa's response is. This makes no sense. I have no idea why they would make this, unless they're trying to get like people to propose with Amazon rings. Alexa, will you marry me? It also costs $130? No. The cool one though was the Echo Frames, which again brings Alexa to your glasses, but does it in a way where the microphone and the speakers are located on the frames themselves, and the speakers are a direct sound technology according to Amazon, so nobody else could hear Alexa while she's speaking to you about everything that you're asking. They're also only 31 grams, which isn't terrible, and they're $180 and only available by special invitation. I actually like the Echo Frames, is that what they're called? The Echo Frames a lot. This is actually probably the best implementation I could think of some sort of Internet of Things communication device to get a smart assistant. It can connect with your phone so that you could use Google Assistant if you don't want to use Alexa. So that's cool. It's not augmented reality in any way. It's just assistant-powered glasses. It has up to 3 hours of audio playback and a 2-week standby time. So 3 hours of actively using Alexa, not just like having them on. So there's a lot that Amazon's trying to put into your life to spy on you, which the Ring makes no sense, because why wouldn't they just make a smartwatch at that point? That is more intuitive. If I'm gonna be speaking to something, a smartwatch makes sense. A ring? A freaking ring? No. Stop it. Amazon, this is ridiculous. But that's not the only thing that they announced. They also showed off the Echo Show 8, which is an 8-inch Echo device. Great. And then the Echo Studio, which is basically like the HomePod from Apple, and then it's also got like 3D audio thanks to Dolby Atmos, and it's going to cost you a cool $200, which isn't terrible. Then you have the Echo Dot, which has been updated to have an alarm clock, the Echo Glow, which is a nightlight that has Amazon Alexa built in, and then a couple more things such as the Echo Flex, which is a smart outlet that you plug in that then has Alexa to turn on whatever is plugged into that outlet, as well as a Ring indoor camera for security cameras, the first indoor one, and that's fantastic. The best thing that was probably announced is that Alexa is going to have a Samuel L. Jackson mode for 99 cents. So that's worth it. Do that so that you know that when you're being spied on, it's by one of the most prolific actors who's ever lived. As long as he soothes me to sleep, it'll be fine. But while Amazon was throwing out all of the brand new announcements yesterday, they also apparently didn't give all of their new products to their executives. While speaking to Bloomberg, one of their executives, Dave Limp, instead of wearing the new Echo Buds, he was actually wearing AirPods. So great job, launch new products, not even wearing them. Stay on brand, Amazon, you got it. Speaking of Amazon brand, there's actually a cool new feature coming in Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime, and that's the X-ray feature that's already available on Prime Video, where you can see things such as the cast and characters in a show and find out where they've been previously. For Thursday Night Football, it's gonna show you the stats of the various players. It's actually quite a decent implementation. I like it a lot. And then also, Amazon's not the only people who launched new earpods, bud ears yesterday. Anker also unveiled 6 new AirPod alternatives, Bluetooth in-ears. Great, fantastic. But while Amazon and Anker have a plethora of products to show off and ship out, you know who still doesn't? Intel. Yes, my friends, according to a report by DigiTimes, they are saying that Intel is still struggling with 14 nanometer production, and it looks like they're having to delay some of their notebook chips until 2020. This is just an ongoing saga with Intel because they are behind on 10 nanometer production. They weren't supposed to be producing 14 nanometer processors and 14 nanometer chipsets at the same time, but since they have to, it's all just getting, it's a giant bottleneck. Intel, the real bottleneck. But speaking of nanometer processing, TSMC apparently should begin mass production of its 5 nanometer process in 2020. Probably not going to be implemented in many different devices for a while. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Apple's the first one to have a 5 nanometer SoC in their next generation phone. That combined with a 5G modem, the Apple iPhone 12 might actually be pretty decent. But you know what else is decent? Having Netflix. But you know what's better than that? If it was car Netflix, not Netflix in your car, a subscription style service for self-driving cars. That's what Canoo wants to become, the world's first subscription-only electric vehicle that looks like it's supposed to be at the Day of Tomorrow event at freaking Disney World. If you want to rent a lease, you want to Netflix a car, Canoo's going to be your people. Speaking of briefly leasing a car, Lyft, a company known for ride sharing as well as things such as scooters and a whole bunch of stuff. Apparently, I didn't know this because I don't use them, they had all of their apps in a bunch of different places, and they now finally consolidated the buses, ride shares, and scooters all in the same app, which would have made sense from the get-go, but they probably didn't build the initial infrastructure to make it work that way, so now it's here. But speaking of merging things together, that's what Facebook/Oculus did yesterday at their Oculus event, announcing that the Oculus Quest, a $400 hands-free VR device, is actually getting an update using Oculus Link so that if you to connect it to a powerful PC, well, you can play all of the Oculus Rift games that you want on the Quest. Which begs the question, what the heck is the Rift S, which is the exact same price, for? Huh? Why would you have that? Why would you buy a Rift S? It makes no sense. It has a worse resolution screen and it doesn't have the same mobile capabilities that the Quest does. It does have a higher refresh rate, but a lot of people have said that the Quest has a much better feeling display than what's on the Rift. So Oculus making a brand new headset obsolete? Because the Rift S came out recently, they did a whole bunch of paid promotion on YouTube with a bunch of YouTubers, from what I saw, and now they're just saying, get the Quest instead, because now you can do everything that the Rift could do. And on top of that, there were a bunch of other announcements, such as the fact that the Quest should be getting hands-free controllers where it can track your fingers and your hands, which will be great. But then also, they announced that soon they should be rolling out its Half Dome 2 prototype concept, which gives you varifocal lenses in the actual headset to allow you to control focus a bit better and make the experience more natural. And apparently they've gotten it so that it's only down to 200 grams to have the varifocal lenses in there, which is quite good. Whether or not it's going to be implemented anytime soon remains to be seen, but some good stuff coming out of the Oculus event yesterday. And then Google had its own announcements coming out. They have made it so that in the next update for Google Chrome, you actually will be able to color code tabs so that you can keep track of various different websites more seamlessly than just by recognizing the little icon that's in the corner, especially if you have dozens of tabs open at one time like I do when researching articles for Hot News. So this is a welcome update, but Max didn't welcome a new Chrome update that rolled out yesterday because apparently it crashes your Mac so that you can no longer reboot. Apparently, this happened to affect Macs that have disabled system integrity prevention and other conditions, and then it deletes or damages a crucial part of the Mac operating system, so that like Chrome is crashing your Mac. So if in case you're working on Chrome, don't restart your computer until you make sure you get the actual update that says it's fixed. Don't screw yourself over. But speaking of Macs and Apple, Tim Cook came out and said that he pledges to now keep Mac Pro production going in Texas. This is especially after the thing that we reported on Monday's Hot News, which is that the US government has decided to alleviate some of the tariffs on certain computer components, which could have made the Mac Pro much more expensive to produce. So since those tariffs have been waived for those components, it's now, Apple says that they can actually produce the Mac Pro still in the United States. And last week we reported on two different companies announcing 53 qubit quantum computers. You had IBM and Google saying, yo, we got 53 qubit computers. D-Wave, also known for making quantum computing computers, came out and said, that's cute. We just got our first customer for our 5,000 qubit quantum computer. So D-Wave says that their first customer for the 5,000 qubit machine is the Los Alamos National Laboratory, which has previously purchased a bunch of quantum computers from D-Wave. So that's exciting. It's cute that IBM and Google are wrestling over something that's literally a 100th as powerful as D-Wave. Pathetic. And then a quick announcement, MetallicGear actually announces a few new cases coming out. You have the Neo 520, the Neo G, and the Neo Air and Silent. So in case you like MetallicGears, which is their sub-brand of Phanteks, I don't know why they split up the brands. It should all just be Phanteks in my opinion. But they now have new ones that should be at least a little bit better in the airflow department. And then speaking of airflow department, this has nothing to do with airflow. Hennessey announces that they're gonna be performing their first electric vehicle mods on the Porsche Taycan. So in case you want to get a Hennessey branded car, and in case you're not familiar with Hennessey, they actually soup up a bunch of other cars, and so that's what's going to be happening with the Taycan. They're probably going to make it more aerodynamic, introduce a few tweaks to the torque and to the horsepower to make sure it's just a bit more efficient. But this is obviously not the first time this has happened to an electric car. Saleen, who's also known for modding Mustangs, actually did this to a P85D a while ago. Obviously the P100D came out and slaughtered whatever the Saleen could produce with the Model S 85D, but modding electric vehicles to give them extra performance isn't a new concept. But Hennessey, get that Porsche running fast. Speaking of German car manufacturers though, Daimler is facing a $960 million fine in Germany over cheating on their emissions. You're probably familiar with the fact that Volkswagen did this as well, but apparently Daimler, who also owns Mercedes-Benz, did this on 684,000 cars they were cheating emissions on. So they're getting charged for each one of those. The total fine comes out to 870 million euro, or about $960 million, nearly $1 billion in fines for cheating the planet. It's ridiculous. And I would cheat you if I continued this episode of Hot News any longer. While you're checking out all the links and the timestamps down below, don't forget to pick up our merch to help support our move back to the United States. The Press F for Paying Respects is a dope piece of merch. And I cannot wait until I get mine, okay? I'm waiting, just like everybody who's ordered. Anyways, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, get subscribed to stay up to date on our tech-related content. I'm Brett, you're awesome, bye. Volkswagen